Hey guys, Lally here. In today's video, I'm going to show you the mistakes you are making in sales, and I'm going to give you the formula which you need to fix it. And most companies on earth make these mistakes, and it doesn't seem to matter how experienced their sales teams are, they still lose sales. So I'm going to tell you a story about what made me think of this. So we get notified the other day, me and my girlfriend, that a property has come on the market and we're looking to buy it basically. And we didn't realize when this property came on the market, it's actually gone up for auction. And a property that's going up for auction, it kind of works like eBay. You get a time limit in which you have to actually place your bid for the property, and then at the end of that time limit, the highest offer gets presented to the seller. Now, it's important to mention in this story that auctions that are selling properties come with an auction fee. So you have to pay, if you're going to pay like a deposit for a mortgage, you have to also pay an auction fee as well. And the auction fee is usually like a finder's fee. So the auction people will go out and find buyers for the property. However, they didn't find buyers for the property. We found the property on our own. So we negotiated with the seller that we were going to incorporate the fee within the actual our bid or offer for the property, which he agreed to through one of the people at the auction. So my girlfriend phones up, she places a bid, she's got 18 days left of the auction, she checks if there's been any interest on it, there's been zero interest on it, we place a bid, and then it's just a waiting game from there. Anyway, 17 days left, 16 days left, it gets all the way to zero, and we're like, nobody's even got in touch with us. This must mean we have won the auction, or at least have an offer that's going to be presented to the seller. And then we look again, and the countdown timer has actually went all the way back up to 30 days. And we're like, what has happened here? So by this point, we're confused. We phone the auction company, we phone them a few times, they don't come back to us, the seller doesn't even come back to us. And we're like, what the hell's going on, right? So we phone again, and eventually we get through to somebody. After sending countless emails, and it's actually me speaking on the phone this time, and I'm like, hey, like, we put a bid on this property like last month. The countdown timer ended up at zero, and then it got reset to 30 days again, but like nobody actually got in touch with us. That's like you winning a bid on eBay, but then the timer just re-rolling back around. It didn't make any sense, right? So the woman was really polite on the phone, but she basically explains to me that the bid my girlfriend put in the other month wasn't recorded anywhere, wasn't recorded on the system, and as it was just a verbal offer, it didn't actually count for anything. And now basically there's no evidence whatsoever that we've put this bid in for this property. To make matters even worse, the person who had originally spoken to my girlfriend and took the initial offer from her, and who'd understood the situation that the seller had agreed to incorporate the auction fee within the offer, hadn't made a note of this. There was just no evidence of this conversation ever taking place, which means we had to go back to the seller to actually get authorization again. I leave the phone call, and then I come to discuss this with my girlfriend. My girlfriend's like, what on earth are these guys calling me liars? Like, I actually had this conversation with them. So she emails them a bunch of times, doesn't hear anything. She phones them, somebody says they'll phone her back, they never phone her back. And basically the auction company now are telling us that like we haven't followed the right processes for this bid to be put in place when it was nothing to do with us. At the start, it looked like a nice, easy route to go through to get a property. This part isn't even supposed to be hard, but it's been so mishandled. We've got like a bad taste in our mouths now. And we're thinking, if the easy part became this complicated, imagine how tough the hard part of actually buying a house, the stressful part's gonna be as well. No, thank you, we'd rather just move on. So how can you apply this to your business? Well, basically, you need to be keeping notes on the people who come through and show interest in your calls. The reason why is most money is made on follow-up further down the line, not on initial contact. So if you keep notes on your system, when the person eventually thinks to themselves, hey, you know what? I actually do want to buy that. They phone up, they want a straightforward process without any complication, because what happens is it turns them away. But these guys are literally made their processes so complicated and so convoluted because they haven't communicated with each other that we want to go somewhere else. We're at a stage where we are trying desperately to give them our money and they are just not even following up with the calls. They're not even returning emails or anything. Bad experience. So after cooling down from this a little bit, I was working with some clients, and I tell you what, like, my laptop's old now, so it's so incredibly slow. And I think, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself to a new laptop. This old laptop, it's a heap of junk, right? I got it in like 2013 and I've been piecing it together with pretty much like blue tack and sellotape, and it's just become a Frankenstein, right? It still works, but it's just slow as hell, right? So this isn't to brag, but I'm earning a lot more money now than I was in 2012 and 2013. So I think, you know what? I'm actually going to treat myself to a beast of a laptop. I want something that's so good that it's actually gonna, you know, toast my toast for me, iron my clothes for me, wake me up in the morning. I want the whole thing, right? So I do a bit of research and basically I find this like friggin' ideal laptop. So as I'm looking at this deal for his laptop, you know, my old school mentality kicks in a little bit and I'm like, I shouldn't really spend all that money, right? Because it's like the highest end laptop, like we're talking like over 4 grand, right? And it's a lot of money. And I'm thinking to myself, I shouldn't really do this. I'm potentially about to buy a house. Then suddenly I notice on the website this big sign which is saying it's discounted, right? So I actually open up the chat window. You know, you have a little chat window on most websites and it brings up like a customer support agent. I'm like, is this right? Is this actually discounted? And the guy is a super nice guy. He's like, yeah, it's right. He was like, you know what? He was like, we'll also throw in like this warranty for you as well, like extended 4 years warranty. I'm like, this is an amazing experience, right? Complete opposite from the other one, but wait for it. So as I'm going to checkout, it's got the checkout button, it's also got a finance button. And the finance is like 0% over 12 months. And I think to myself, I'm about to potentially buy a house. I might have to pay this referral fee because I don't know what sort of miscommunication has happened at the other one. I should really, if I'm being smart about this, do the finance, divide my money up, because you just don't know what problems are gonna go wrong, right? You don't know what's gonna happen. So I go onto the billing page, I'm like, I'm sold, this is a good experience, I tried to pay for it. And it doesn't go through, like the payment doesn't go through. And I'm like, what's going on? So I try again, it doesn't go through again. It's like there's some sort of problem with the website. So I get onto the customer support agent again and I'm like, oh, I'm trying to pay here, I'm trying to take my money, like what's going on? And he's like, really sorry, he was like, we got technical issues, we got no ETA. I was like, yeah, fair enough. And he was like, the discount ends at night, but we can extend it for like a day. And I was like, oh great, no worries. So I checked back today, it's still down. And I phoned them up and I'm like, I just want to pay. And they were like, well, we can't take your payment because like it's down, there's nothing we can do. And I was like, but why are you keeping the discount on for like the day? And they were like, yeah, sorry, it's just gonna run out tonight. And I was just like, this is so confusing. Like, this is so confusing. I'm just trying to give people my money and like nobody's taking it. Everything's going wrong and it's just madness. So you think these might be two quite rare situations, but actually this happens all the time. People don't follow up, people don't ask for the sale, and then when they have buyers right in front of them, they don't figure out a way to make it happen. And this is a key problem which I see with service providers and I see with like coaches, I see with people who are selling products in like the online space as well. First of all, they don't actually ask for the sale. Secondly, when the person really wants to buy from them, they end up talking them down or like not actually like working out how they can make the sale happen. And as a consequence, the person goes somewhere else, which is what I'll do on like probably both accounts. And I see this over and over again. And basically, if you can start asking people for the sale more, how many people have turned up and have actually been interested in your service, but you've been just too afraid to say Visa or MasterCard? You've been too afraid to say, how should we start this? How should we go about this? What do we do from here? These are closing statements. and you've been too afraid and you've ended up losing the sale, or the person is actually like wanting to do it, and I'm guilty of this in the past as well, and I've actually talked them away from my service because maybe I don't believe in it enough, or like I don't believe in myself enough. And lots and lots and lots of sales are lost like daily across the globe. And if you're new to business, and if you're, maybe in like the online space at the moment, or haven't had like official sales training, this is potentially a problem for you as well. And what I'd recommend is just follow those two things. Start trusting your gut a little bit more. Ask for the sale. Make sure that you find a way to make it happen, because there are people out there like myself who are trying to give you their money. Like, please take my money. Please just take it. Just give me a product. Here's the money right here. And on both occasions there, the people were both like, no, 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 we can't do it. No, 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 it doesn't make sense. On the first occasion with the auction, they could have just phoned the girl, right? They could have just contacted the other girl instead of, they didn't even follow us up with emails. But on the second occasion, they could have said, listen, sir, we will absolutely extend that discount to whenever you want. And, we'll make it happen. We will email you when the system's back online, right? Peace of mind. But on both occasions, they just turned me away. So if you can follow those two principles, I guarantee it, you will get at least double the amount of sales that you are currently getting right now. Hope you enjoyed my insane rant. See you in the next one.